Hi, today is Thursday, April the 2nd. I am Dale. I'm one of the pastors here at Redeemer Bible Church, and this is the Daily Word. Today we are going into Luke chapter 2. And obviously, in the 23 or 24 verses that we've been assigned today, there's tons of things that we could talk about, right? The thing I want to hone in on today is the shepherds. And why would an angel and why would a heavenly host, which, by the way, is described in the book of Revelation as too many to number, why would they appear to shepherds? Well, it's interesting. Bethlehem was pretty close to Jerusalem, I guess. If it was Phoenix and Gilbert, maybe about that close, maybe a little closer. And the shepherds out there tending to the sheep. We're probably tending to sheep that were going to be used in temple sacrifices. It makes sense, though we can't emphatically say that's what was happening here. It makes sense that there would be fields around Jerusalem that were devoted to tending to sheep that would be used for temple sacrifices. So those shepherds are out there minding their own business, doing what they do. It's nighttime. And we can't really get a sense of what time of the year it was because this is something that shepherds did no matter what time of year it is. They're out there at night tending to the sheep, watching over the sheep. And then it says in verse 9, suddenly. So you can imagine shepherds are just chilling, maybe even sleeping. And then suddenly an angel of the Lord appears. And unlike what some people like to describe with their so-called experiences today with angels, their first response wasn't, hey, look at that, an angel, or any kind of casual response at all. No, their first response was terrible fear. Terrible, terrible fear. That was their first response. And this is an angel. It's not like God showed up. Their first response to seeing something supernatural like this was fear. And then after the angel makes an effort to calm them and let them know that he means them no harm, that he actually had a message for them, I'm sure that even then they remained fearful. But once they heard the message that a child was being born and they should go welcome him in Bethlehem, it's interesting. Once the angel disappears and the heavenly host disappear, the response isn't fear anymore. The response is excitement. They run. It says without haste, like they made tracks and they went into the town because they wanted to find this baby. This baby that was promised, a promised baby from God himself. And isn't it interesting that these lowly shepherds, I guess in today's world, security guards. We don't live in an agrarian culture, so people who are appreciated, people who are not well thought of, actually. They're just kind of people that you just walk by and don't make notice of. Isn't it interesting that shepherds are the ones that God decided to announce the birth of the Savior? I think there's something for us to learn there. There is the reality that God did not come to impress the religious people. Jesus' life was not about impressing the Sadducees or the Pharisees, even though one day he would stand before the Sanhedrin. It was to be found guilty by them. So no, Jesus didn't come for the religious. Jesus came for the lowly. He came for the least of these. And no better way for God to announce the birth of the Savior than go to the least of these in the culture. So that's something to remember as we follow Christ, as we point others towards Christ. We have no high horse that we should be on. We should have no soapbox. We should not come from elevated places. Our job as Christians is to remain lowly and to remember that we are not anything special, but the Lord is. And the fact that He would choose us, the fact that He would allow us to gaze upon Him, is evidence of grace. That is today's daily word. Have a great day.